Oh,
Hi.
What's up?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So we were talking about this at work. This is the last week we get to say that.
Okay.
We can't join every call with Happy New Year after the second week of January.
That makes sense.
It's no longer happy.
It's happy.
Happy day.
Yeah.
The other rule that I didn't know that you wouldn't really know it unless you wrote a lot, which I don't, right? Except for texts and there's no rules for that. So that you have to, if the number that you're writing is under 10, you have to write it out.
Yeah.
Word form.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Is that what your editor taught you?
It's AP style.
One of my friends / editors taught me that.
I didn't know that either. But I always struggle. Like, should I be casual and number it,
right?
Or should I be formal and type it? Like,
yeah.
And I'm always different. Depends on which Elizabeth you get.
Well, when you voice to text, usually it just comes out as the number.
That's the number.
So of course, there's a lot of number digging to dig up, but
nice.
That's why I have them.
So I reached out to your editor that you're using for your book.
Oh, cool.
And he's wonderful. And he edited my last article.
Oh, hey.
And he did a fantastic job. Are we allowed to say his name?
Yeah, yes.
So what on Insta, he's Joe, JOE _Edel.
I believe.
TTLE.
Yes.
You got it.
And I'll put it
in the show notes.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes.
I just sent, I know he works through some different platforms, but I just sent him a direct message on Insta and said, hey, here's the freelance work I have. Are you interested? And he said, let's talk. And then we talked and we figured out the terms, and he's wonderful.
Yeah, he's just so, I wasn't expecting that compared to the last people.
He gave me great feedback. And when I published the article, I felt really good about, I know this has been edited. I know it's accurate. I know it's professional.
Yes.
All those things.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you did that. Yeah, I had a great experience, and I just hired him, rehired or redid it. I sent him the latest, and he's like, "I'll get right on it."
Nice.
That's so cool. So
cannot wait for this book to get published.
I know
it's getting so close.
I'm like, it's gonna take forever, but
he's so
does he love you or what?
I don't know. You're in a safe place.
Sorry, we're
speak too soon. Yeah, this guy might pop up and want to
looking like
be over
he's
it.
Thinking about
around.
No more podcast.
Yeah, it's like 45 seconds is enough for me.
Okay. All right, what else? Oh, what were we? So we got a few.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about New Year's, and either I think the first question was thumbs up, thumbs down on the whole concept of resolutions. So I'll go first.
Yes.
I go back and forth depending on the year. I'll either do a resolution or I'll do a word, and I try to be really gentle with my resolutions. So, it's typically something positive that's achievable, as opposed to some I'm not good enough, so I'm going to change this. I try to stay away from those.
Yeah.
Last year, my resolution was an affirmation. I will be a better friend to myself. And so I spent the year thinking about how to treat myself the way I treat my friends. And that worked. That was a good exploration for the year. This year I just did, I think I've done two. I made a promise to myself that I would write one article a month and publish it on LinkedIn. So January, check. 11 to go. And I'm already overwhelmed thinking about what am I going to write about in February? I don't know. But it'll come to me.
It will come to you.
And then my word, my word for the year is clarity. I want to spend time this year making sure I'm very clear about what's important to me, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what I think, why I think it. And so clarity across all work, fun, friends, yoga.
It's a good one. It's a very good one.
That's my feelings.
I like it. So you're a a thumbs up for resolutions.
I'm a thumbs
Kind of.
up. Yeah, I'm a thumbs up for resolutions. I
But not so
personally think I think we manage what we measure and intention matters. So maybe you call it intention as opposed to resolution, but like I'm very big on setting intentions and staying true to them.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's me too. Like I feel like resolutions, people feel chained to them, and then they have guilt throughout the year, trying and retrying. And if if they fall off the path, then they're kicking themselves all year long, trying to get back on the path because they made this promise instead of a promise to themselves. I think it becomes, if they told people about it, then how are they going to look? And so I definitely think do something. It doesn't even have to be for the year. It can just be open to, like a word.
Yeah.
And that word can manifest however it turns out, however long. Maybe, by the end of March, that word isn't important anymore. Maybe then you get a new word. There's no like length of time, or I don't think there should be.
I think it's
So-
interesting, right? So in our society, New Year's is the time, right? You set a goal in the new year and you do it for the whole year,
Yeah.
or you do it until you get tired of it and then you forget about it. In our yoga world, we do a lot of marking the seasons, right? And with every turn of the season,
Yes.
we bring in the like what's serving me, what's no longer serving me, like, and I love that.
I do too. In fact, in my old book that I was not that good at keeping up with, which is okay, it
'Cause now it's
has
coming back around at the time that you need it.
it
That's
has
why
the wheel of the year, which has the winter solstice, the spring equinox, summer solstice, fall equinox. But there's stuff in between, which I know you can't see, but I'll just bring it right up. But there's other things in between, so you can really
narrow
increment.
in.
Yeah, be like, all right, for this winter solstice, I'm gonna try to do this, and then you get to reset in the symbolic phase. I don't know what it's called. What
We're
is it called?
learning.
Phase. So from December 20th is the winter solstice time, and then February 1st is the embolic, the in between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. You have your embolic phase, I'll call it. And I can't read the rest of it. But anyway, so it's not that long of a.
Yeah, it looks like that breaks the year up into 8 segments.
Yeah.
Or you could do it with the full moons, right? Or the
Exactly.
new moons. Like
But these tie directly to moon cycle.
Yes,
So that's why
they do.
that's your compass.
Yeah. So that's why I brought this up. But also, this is sort of. I'm not going to put any pressure. I don't know if you can see me, but anyway, I'm not. This isn't, again, I always do this and I never kick myself about it. But one day I would love to actually fill this whole thing out and not miss like months at a time. It's just that I get distracted. So I have a new one ordered. I'm already late. So I'll start it in February during the embolic phase. But so that this is one of my keeping track of where I am each moment, I guess, basically.
It's a different approach to journaling. You
Yes.
could do the same thing with a blank journal.
Exactly. And I've done that and I again still the same thing. So I'm just
You could also, not this year because you've ordered your 2025, but you could also revisit this one. There's
Yes.
nothing to say that you couldn't go back in and say, oh, last year I didn't fill out this one. Let me do that now. Right?
Yes.
And you could complete this over the course of multiple years.
I could, but it would drive me crazy that it has like the exact days and stuff.
I get it.
I couldn't get past it. But that's my bad that I got this particular type. I could get a different one. But I do like going back and reading, like, oh my gosh, what kind of mood was I in at the, you know what I mean? Like, it's fun to figure out, like, when we were making our house.
I pictured gingerbread house.
So I had all kinds of excited stuff happening in my journal that I did have an actual, like a gratitude journal, and I did fill that one out more often. I'm going to throw this down here. So, but my word, so every year for the past 3 years, my word has been the same. And it's open, be open, be open. So to stack on top of that, my word is flourish.
Love it.
And how I acquired that word was Instagram. So it has the words, and you screenshot, and that's what
That's
came
your
up.
word?
I'm like, that's my cosmic connection to this word
That's awesome.
this year. So flourish, whatever that means to me, that's what's going to happen.
And the word is also found in the dictionary, magazines. So it's like, it's not that you
Right.
connected, like you said, cosmic connection.
But I use the internet as my,
Algorithm of mystical, yeah.
it brings me lots of signs.
And it's perfect for that because it's so random. And
It
there's
is
so much
absolutely
Yeah.
random. Well, within the algorithm.
with it.
Within,
Right.
We all.
yes. But many of my classes have been themed from some of the things that have inspired me.
I love
That's
it.
what it's for.
Through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really focused on using it, not having it use me.
Yeah.
Boom. Bam.
But that's why I go on there to take what I need and then throw out some weird random Sisterhood of the Traveling Plant video.
I love
Because
it.
that's fun.
That was fun.
And it's true that word or phrase came to me because I have left town a few times and I've left plants with yogis, and now it's like in this little trio. So it's like, this is. It's such a big deal to me, plants, giving them, because
Yeah,
it's such a.
was this guy in this cup? I'm sorry,
No.
I did not mean to cut you
No.
off.
It's a whole thing.
Did I?
When I saw
that
him,
to
he
your
was in a
birthday?
little black.
Yeah.
Okay.
She gave that to me for my birthday before I drove to Louisiana. And
Okay.
so on my
That day. Didn't you go
Yeah.
like that day?
that day, literally she was like, happy birthday, and I was like, bye. And so I had my car packed full of everything, and I had a little anyway, it was nestled somewhere, and when I went, I wasn't planning to open the passenger door, but I met my dad for breakfast and I had to do something with Maddox, and I opened it and it rolled out, and I was like,
no.
symbolic or what? But I saved it comfortably. Like, I have this philosophy now where I don't force. I give everything like 100% effort for about 10% of my time in the situation, and I don't, like, if I lose a ring, I don't search for more than, like, until I break a sweat, and then it's like, okay, I'm not meant to find it right now, and then if it comes back, but if it doesn't, it's like, oh, I have to alchemize something about myself and I'm abandoned, whatever. Anyway, that I had bought myself a mug in Anchorage. That mug, it says "I fucking love you" on it, and I love it.
See, but it's there.
Yeah.
It says that.
Okay, so the aloe is what you gave her for her birthday. The mug you bought in Anchorage. They came
Boom.
together.
And in a moment of what looked like a ruined gift, but I think I did my thing where I didn't force it. I was like, I'm just gonna clean up what I can, and grab the first thing I saw, and it was that mug.
Okay.
And I had complete trust because I was like, I just bought this beautiful mug for myself. My old self was like, I felt my arm being like, don't put it in there, that's dirt. But then I broke through that and was like, this is meant to be perfectly this, and it hasn't moved from that position. I was gonna take it and repot it in Louisiana and go buy like soil mix or whatever, source it or whatever, grab it from the ground or whatever, and replant it in a nice big but it has been happy like that.
You don't want to mess with happy.
And it's made it back across to South Carolina through a cabin and back.
It's awesome.
It is literally a
And
traveling
it's the
plant.
perfect pot.
It literally worked. I couldn't believe that it worked. I was kind of stressed about it the whole drive, like, oh, it's gonna die.
There's no drainage.
I just have to pause for a moment to hear
Is he snoring?
No,
He's bored.
No, he was.
he was snoring,
okay.
and then he heard us say that, and he was like,
You guys.
So it kind of is our like now
Travel.
our
Traveling.
the traveling plant for us, because I genuinely like really had a breakthrough with not giving up, but transferring the usage of this item that came to me in such a cool way as well. Like there's always a synchronicity to everything I have, but it was like, I can't wait to drink like a chai out of this. I'm gonna use this as my new mug every day. And then that happened and it became that. And it's so much more beautiful to look at it every day. And I don't miss drinking out of it. It's become that now.
So can I put some words together that I think I'm putting together from this whole situation, and you tell me if I've got it right?
Okay.
So prior to you becoming our travel yogi friend,
Yeah.
I felt like when those kind of things would happen, like when you lost your phone, when you lost a plant, like
Catastrophe.
you would punish yourself. There was like self-punishment happening. And what I'm hearing is you've been able to let go of that.
Oh, my solar plexus. Thank you.
Is that real? Is that what
My solar
yes.
plexus just said
Okay.
yes. Because it's something just loosened in my broken ass rib. Thank you for that
That's
reflection.
beautiful.
Yes, and you've been saying that you've been working on it.
Yeah, because Yeti ate my AirPod yesterday, so I had a whole.
We think we're waiting.
We don't know yet. I mean, but it was there one moment.
Either way, it's gone.
Oh no, we're gonna dig it out.
We're gonna find it.
Not with our hands.
We're gonna figure it out.
You got a little
We're gonna see the whole process. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
We could just see if it's there, I guess.
I have to tell you, so last night it was getting dark and I'm out there and the side lights on, and Yeti had gone to the bathroom, and I have the clampy grabber thing, and I'm like taking the corner of it, like trying to section it out.
For me, on my behalf. This is such great.
And I'm like, no, not there.
Not yet.
You just have to smash it a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's gonna be bad later when it hardens on the outside of the grabber.
It's just, I
Not
think at
that
this
it's fun.
point, it's like a treasure hunt, and then I'll make a decision whether. I
It's a
honestly,
good story.
it is a great story, and I want to see it through. But honestly,
I hope it comes through.
I hope it winds its way through something into my hands. But it kind of is a reflection of me. I just got these AirPods, like secondhand ones, because I always had AirPods since they came out. And somewhere between Mexico and Louisiana, I've been AirPodless, and there's been a belief in my head about, because there's weird sounds that come out of it sometimes, the static is just kind of so close to my brain, and there's conspiracy stuff, but I'm in the middle of like, I feel a little bit weird about it now. And so when I bought them, I got right back into my patterns of like being completely shut off from the world. And I had a voice come in, like a thought come in that was like pointing out, see, this is why you've been AirPodless. We don't really think that those are what you need right now, because you need to be open to your now. And this is taking you out of your present. Whisper, whisper. And I was like, sorry, you know? And then I
whisper
had
got louder.
Exactly. And then the day before this happened, I had that thought roar through my head of like, you see, like you're blocking everything out. You're literally putting them in every 5 seconds now. And then the left one started making that freaking noise every time I put it in now. So it started failing.
So is that the one that you have left too?
Yeah. That's to me, that's the universe giving me what I asked for by calling myself out. So I didn't know I asked for that. And then literally Yeti eats my freaking good one. And so I'm left with this annoying, like, yeah, and it's like, is it worth it? I have to sit for like 30 seconds with doing that, and then it'll calm down. And I'm like,
You have like tinnitus. In your
I know.
ear.
I'm like, I feel like that was the universe being like, yeah, we don't want these. So it's a little sad, but anyway. Also, I just wanted to highlight that point about losing and breaking stuff and punishing myself. Yesterday was the big, like, familiar feeling of loss. Every time I would lose, like you said, my AirPods, which I did all the time, it would be that same like self-hatred, like dripping goo all over myself, just like seething. And yesterday I had that all of the sensations of that feeling come back, but I was able to be like this is not going to come into my core right now because it is just an object. Plus, I have some weird voice telling me.
Okay, I don't
Plus,
need
I have
these,
some
yeah.
intuition that's saying like we don't want this technology in our brain right now. So
It's
yeah,
it's huge. Like having watched you hurt yourself over the loss of material things,
yeah.
like seeing you deal with it this quickly.
Let's
And-
hope it sticks.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a weird tightrope because I still feel kind of like the old ghost of like the ache where it would pull on my heart when I would lose stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, and it's not pulling, it's just kind of reminding you how it felt. It's like a little bit more, it's a little bit numb, the sharpness of the loss. It's a blunted edge. Yeah. So anyway.
So it's your turn.
Oh,
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
thumbs up. Okay. Thumbs down to the traditional societal norm of New Year's resolutions, simply because I've just gotten, since I've been doing so much inner work and yoga, gotten more familiar with my own inner systems, although it's still tangled mess. But I'm weaving through it and feeling myself in winter. I'm like in my own cyclical, I go through 4 seasons every month. So it's like in that winter of each month, I've learned to give myself grace. And I feel like right now, it's like the middle of winter. And it feels like I want to sleep more. And I feel this old pattern of being like punishing myself to work more. And now I'm in a place where I'm able to kind of play around with embracing it. And I lean towards embracing it, but I also love what you said about how you approach it with what came to my head was making it a mantra for the year, because we're so trained to think 12-month years. And so I'm going to honor that because my brain and body are on that automatically. I'm also going to bring in a new woven in cyclical, and it's like a flavor of the quarter or flavor of the equinox or flavor of the season. That makes it feel, I love what you both said together. It makes it feel more like a stretchy rubber band. It's where you have grace periods. And since we work in cyclical, like 28-day cycles for the most part as females with our hormones and whatever, it's like, let's play. I want to play in that paradigm, but still, I can't help it. I want to have a yearly mantra because that 2025 is flashed in my head while it's that year. You know what I mean? There's always like it's 2025, like floating around my
That's
head.
me too.
And it's like, so that keeps me kind of contained in this, but I want to play with the little ones.
It's funny that you did that because, like,
It's like a banner.
me, it's like a backwards C. January's down here, and it goes up to December, and then you slide back down. Not slide, but it drops back down, and it's like a reset. So it's more like a reset.
Yeah. And I love any reset opportunity. So
Yeah.
I'll take the one that the Gregorian calendar is.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to honor these. There's this rich like soil and sediment of all these different cultural things that I'm starting to find resonance with and play with, but not take too seriously and hold myself to, but appreciate how
So
different
not
our
attached
line
to it
is
too
to their
much.
curve.
Yeah.
It's like, let's weave it. We're all interconnected. Yeah.
Well,
So,
and I
no
think it's
pressure.
like making a life practice of stopping, breathing, and asking the question, like, what am I doing? Am I happy with what I've been doing? What do I want to do in the days that come?
Yeah.
And that can happen however often you want it to.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're your own cyclical clock.
Yeah.
You can set your own, you can have like 72-day cycle. That sounds actually like a pretty even, but like a random number. It can be like every 57 days, I'm going to reassess my like gut health and that's if you're type A. Like that's not me. When I see 57 days, I panic. So it's more like, let's think about for this new moon or whatever I want to choose or whatever feels good. And it might change the next time around. And that's okay. It's like, as long as I'm finding the consistency of stopping myself and checking in, like you just said. and being like, am I grounded? Am I acting insane? Like,
Well, and I think the practice of yoga that we all have embraced with all of our hearts is being in the moment and asking your body,
what do I need right now?
what do I need right now?
It's the now.
Is this serving me?
Yeah.
Right? And you asked the question on my Insta post today, like, what if you don't love it in the moment? And for me, it's always the is it serving me? What do I need to do today? And if I'm really resistant to something, like I don't want to do my yoga practice, but I know I'll feel better after I do it, right?
Stick to the routine, not the feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I saw once too. And I was like,
And go through the feeling.
Yeah. And
that's cool.
and it can mean different things on different days, right? That's what I meant with my soft versus hard.
Yeah.
Like some days we get together and we do really hard workouts.
Mhm.
And we have had times when we've come in and one of us has said, like, I ran a marathon yesterday. I don't feel like working out at the level that we typically do. And the other two of us are like, okay.
Yeah,
And then
let's
we
go
do
with it.
something softer.
Yeah. And that grace allows for the next time you get together, if you all have shown the energy to like go even harder if
Yeah.
you feel it, instead of measuring like last time I didn't go hard enough, so I got punched.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
y'all are doing that, but
Well, and even like with our yoga practice, like it's one thing when you're working in a studio and you're committed to doing a flow class at 6 p.m. like that, you got to live up to. But Rachel and I've had like we're gonna get together and do Ashtanga, and then we get together and we're like, well, how about today Ashtanga means we lay down on our mats.
I've done that with y'all.
Yeah.
once,
Yes.
Where we were literally
Oh,
lit
yeah.
up for Ashtanga and we just laid there for a whole hour.
Yeah.
And it was so cleansing. And we were all like, it felt like I had done something as intense as like a hot Ashtanga training.
Well, and it would be so
Yeah.
easy to punish ourselves and say, I was supposed to do Ashtanga and I didn't, so I failed. But the reality is we did what we needed in that moment. And that's the
flourished.
yoga. Yeah.
Flourished.
Flourish.
Oh, that reminds me. I didn't have a word in mind, but I also wanted to tie that in. Is that my unique way of doing it this time of year was I had a mantra or two, not a mantra, but like an intention and a promise to myself that I set while I was going through some kind of shadow work, I guess. And it was like very clear that I wanted to adopt the belief in everything that I do that I know nothing, that I'm a beginner. Like I really want to blank slate it because I feel like I have a new kind of perspective and I want to practice with that one. And so I want to really remind myself, and I'm pointing here because I know it's all in my jaw. I know it all comes down to right there. And I really want to remind this strong armor that I've built that it's okay to not know anything because you now have some perspectives that you didn't have before that'll equip you with the guidance. But before it just felt scary that I needed to have armor on to face the world because I was too afraid. Yeah, I was too afraid. And so I felt like I needed to be strong and scary to ward off anything, sort of like the metaphor. Like right here, the physiology of it is our chest, like our chest muscles we talk about that leads up to our neck, our jaws, and then it's the back of our shoulders. But for me, what I picture is like this old, this like 80s cartoon, like chest plate, like football pads.
Yeah.
It's what I feel. It's all fused together. So, I mean, it's working itself out right now, but that's what it feels like I'm battling a little bit with that, or that's what I'm allowing to like relax in and like loosen up, and melt back into me. If that makes sense. So the fascia and then my attitude are so connected. But anyway, so I just want to tell that to just like, it's all right to not know everything. Like you don't need to fight anymore. You can actually rest now. It's like there's a soldier in me that I'm trying to like love and accept because they're not going anywhere. It might be my masculine energy. It's kind of like my masculine energy is I'm trying to loosen its grip, but love
Balance it out.
Yeah.
Well, and
Loosen its
I
grip.
think it's huge to accept that it's okay not to know things, right? Like
Yeah.
that's huge and that's healing. And I think the other side of that is even when you do know things, right? Like even when you've done the work to be an expert in a field, approaching things with the curiosity of a beginner is
Sure.
always beneficial.
That's my word then, curiosity. Thank you. Because that's the word. It's curiosity and yeah, be a beginner. And then the second one I came up with is I told you yesterday, last night. Mantras, my own version of mantras, because the word mantra intimidated me for the longest time. And I'm only just this year, it's only been a few days.
Happy New Year.
It's only this year that I realized that when I'm aligned and connected and I feel my heart is open and I feel like I'm being honest with myself, that's when a mantra becomes a mantra for me. A sentence in my mind that works for me becomes a mantra. Like I don't have to go, and then all of the beautiful wisdom that's come before me clicks into place and I can use it as a tool. But before it was this outside thing that I needed to like be an expert in and fit in and like already know.
Prove that you were
prove that
knowledgeable,
and that I am worthy because I've worked hard. It's like that's why I want to be a beginner, because then all the wisdom and beauty is unlocked, like this playground library, beauty and the beast, flowers, lamps, tea parties. Okay, I wanted my brain to like just kidding, but then it's like, oh, I can pick the tools that work for me because I unlocked the need to prove and that need to be something and know things. It's like just the innocence unlocks the tool makes sense now. Mantra. Anyway, so my mantra was last night. It's like a lot of positive manifestation kind of vibes, because this is one of my biggest challenges. Is it is easy for me to articulate myself. It is easy for me to articulate myself. I say things like that. It is easy for me because it's an insecurity of mine, and that's something I want to work on in terms of relating to other humans and being in relationship to others and speaking and communicating. Because you and I talked about this in December. Communication was my major, but it's my biggest struggle in my life. And so I want to figure out where that disconnect is and listen well, but also speak well, so that I'm not speaking just to, I don't know, whatever reason I have for just rambling. I want to be more articulate and more concise in what I'm trying to convey, and a lot less like emoty while I'm speaking, which I love. I love being silly, but I guess I mean like
a little voice inside of me is like,
no, I'm with you. I'm silly, girl. I'm not gonna change, but I guess I mean like when I'm having important conversations or professional or emotional, or I think I want to focus on relationships this year as well, because like with my family, friends, meeting new people, repairing maybe old relationships, whatever, probably not, but just the stuff of what is relating to others. I want to focus on that. And so that's where all those, I think, tie in. Thanks for letting me work that out in real time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think one thing I've discovered after years of working through that similar, and I don't know that this is uncommon for maybe men, but definitely women, because I've had this conversation with women. I think when we're young, we're super confident and we think we know everything. So we run around like spouting our opinions. And then we get to middle age and we realize how much we don't know. And we realize that we'll never know all of it. And somehow it cuts off our voice. And so we're like, I don't know what to say because I don't know what's correct.
I felt that right here.
And then the beauty of becoming a mature person, human, is you get real comfortable speaking from your truth, as opposed to trying to speak in a way that other people will buy into, right? And for me, that's become the differentiator. When I'm speaking in a way that I'm trying to make other people think about me in a certain way, I fall apart because it's not authentic.
Mm-hmm.
But when I am speaking my truth, I know what to say. And so it's letting go of the expectations of how other people will receive it. And then the right relationships build themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a huge layer to slough off.
Yeah.
Whew. I love
me
it.
too. My neck is like, whoa.
Well, because you're speaking the truth.
Yeah, you're speaking
You
the
have truth
truth.
tingles. Yeah, I get those because you're speaking from your direct truth.
Well, and there was a period, and you and I've talked about it, you and I collectively have talked about it, that there was a period in my life where my throat was constricted and I couldn't find my words. And I had plenty to say, but I couldn't get them up and out.
Yeah.
And so much of it was, I felt this responsibility to say what other people wanted to hear, and I didn't know what other people wanted to hear. And
yeah.
It's like, I'm curious how that clog happened.
yeah, but getting past that has really been like, I'm not running around being unkind. I'm not intentionally hurting people, but I'm also not buying into what other people want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what I know to be true.
You're not babysitting people's expectations.
Right.
And
I
that's
love
that's
that.
totally that's so valid and so cool. That's been a struggle for me my whole life, I think. I think it's common,
Me
like you
too.
said. It's just like you already just said everything.
Well, our society raises us to believe that good girls make other people feel good.
But the word good has gotten so skewed by societal norms.
Yeah, I should have done my air quotes.
I know.
Good girls.
They need that. Oh,
I like
I was,
that.
I was like, it doesn't work with me. No, never mind. Anyway, your air quotes.
Or maybe it was like, yay. That's weird. Anyway. Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, I get so distracted.
I agree. No, anyway, I think that's cool.
It's a cool truth
Yeah.
right there.
It is. It is cool.
Well, and I wish, like, and I talk to girlfriends about this all the time. Like, I wish that there was a way for me to open up the heads of the young women in my life and the young men in my life and pour this hard earned knowledge into them so that they could not go through that pain.
Yeah, but then they won't
And
grow.
the reality is that we all have to get there on our own. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that my experience can help someone. Like, I can share it, it can give them insight, but it's not a substitute for living it,
Yeah.
walking it, figuring it out on your own.
Right.
Well, and then I remember being like, whatever. You know,
Exactly.
so just,
Yeah.
when I was your age,
It's always
I-
like that.
I have a very relatable story for you. No,
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and it's like it is relatable and it is valuable, but the person who hasn't gone through the exact thing hasn't. There's no ears and eyes for it yet. That sounds like parenting too. It's just like, damn. But it's I guess if you change the perspective of sharing inspiration and experience, it's a knowledge sharing and it's relationship building.
Yeah.
So, and value exchange and bonding and growing and sprouting ideas. It's not so much a teacher student.
No, well, and it's one thing I've realized across my whole life and all my interactions and all my relationships. You can't share with any attachment to what's going to happen from that sharing, right? I share
Because you're giving.
because this is what I have to share. I don't have
Yeah.
anything else but my own
Yeah.
experience, and you do what you will. Like,
Yeah, and you might not like it. It's like they might not
Yeah.
like it, and we have to be okay with that if we share.
and hopefully, you know, what I walk away with is a belief in my heart that it's a seed, and someday it's going to help. I may never see it.
Yeah.
I may never get the personal satisfaction of watching someone be able to take that information and do something with it. All I can do is be happy that I was able to share it.
Right. And you're in a place to give.
Ever though seen? I've seen it recently, where you give like a, oh, this is what happened to me, and yada yada yada, and then they're like, yeah, and then a week later, they're like, wait a minute, what was that thing that Elizabeth said to me? And then they're like, it happened.
Yes, and my absolute favorite thing. So, like, I read something a long time ago that said, like, the way you can tell that you've truly collaborated on something is when whoever shared it, like whoever idea it was, it gets lost. It just becomes a collective idea. Like, nobody knows Elizabeth said that thing.
Yeah, it's like everyone's
yeah.
just excited about the same
Right.
thing and wants to figure out how to take the idea further.
So what I love is when I share something, right? A tidbit about yoga, a life event, something. And then years later, I hear somebody say, and da, 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 and like I hear the whisper of what I had shared, but they don't even know that it was like due to something that we had shared. Like I think that's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Because it all comes from a collective. If you think of it, it all comes from one collective conscience, and it's like filtering through us.
Yeah.
So it's like there was this. I guess it was like a rapper. Maybe you said I saw something the other day. You said, oh yeah, it was about anyway. It doesn't matter. But it was about. He's like, that wasn't my song. I was in the right space to receive it, and it's like like
Yeah.
John Lennon said he wrote one of those songs. He's like, where'd you come up with the lyrics? They're so artistic. He's like, the window was open. It's like he was in the right space.
I've heard a lot of different creatives express something along those, and I buy into it. Like, like this is the energetic knowledge, and either we're open to receive it and put it out, or we're not.
That's it.
But
or you're greedy to
get credit,
collect it, get credit, and sell it. It's like there's
yeah.
that whole vein, all of it. I've always been obsessed with credit because of the need to be seen in the home, I guess. And I find that amongst lots of my friends or people I've been friends with, and it's tied directly to that other side. But you don't know it because you're like, wait, you're stealing from me. And it's like it's a shared collective of consciousness.
Well, and it takes away a lot of the responsibility, right? Like when you accept this idea that I'm a vessel as opposed to I own it.
Yeah.
It takes away that attachment to like it needs to happen my way.
Yeah. So it takes away all the stuff that comes with it that's negative. Yeah.
That's like painting when we were talking about that and how there's a picture on the wall and there's 5 different people painting that same picture and they all look different.
Yeah. But they're all just trying to get towards the same end, which is like, if you zoom that out, it's like we're all trying to just love and be loved and share and receive and give. It's like that's unity.
Well, it's such a cool way to think about like how the human brain works. Because I see it even at work, right? I can be in a meeting with 5 people and we all hear the exact same thing. But then when we sit down and debrief, everybody receives it differently. Everybody has a different understanding of what we need to do with the information. And when you're only one person distilling the information and acting on it, like you only have one lens. But then when you work collectively and all 5 of you work together to figure out the plan, it's just better.
5 lenses.
Yeah.
And then you can put them together to find where it makes the right color. Yeah, I think too that it's important to. Yeah, I guess that's it. No, I don't have anything to add to that.
I'm thinking about how it takes us back to the sisterhood of the traveling plants, right? So this morning you said, hey, 2 minutes, can you do 2 minutes? And all 3 of us did 2 minutes of an interpretation of this ask.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with 3 very different skits. And I felt like we started our day on a creative note. And then I went into my day feeling very creative.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yay. And I surprised her too. Like you and I, we were like, we're going to do this. And then I was like, we got to tell Elizabeth. And so it was right away.
Yeah. And it was we're leaving workout. I'm headed home to make a meeting. And you have 2 minutes to do this. And I was like, sure.
Oh, I like it.
And it gave me the nice laugh before I went to go be professional Elizabeth all day long.
You get to be fake professional Elizabeth.
Hi. Happy New Year.
Mine at first, I was going to do the one where, in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, I think there was one where she put them on and she wanted to fall in love, or there was something about an approval of a boy or something. I don't remember what it was exactly. So I was like, ooh, I'll stand there and catcall Rich when he walks by. Not really, but fake. And then I'll hold the plant and he'll be like, ooh. Yeah. And then then I found out that his boss was coming over and they were going to be working all day, and I was like,
New
"It's
plans.
Yeti."
Oh yeah, it became the interest.
My unconditional love. She was unconditional loving me
Because you had a plant.
because she really was unconditionally loving that
She wanted
plant.
to eat the
She
plant.
likes how it tastes. I think it turned out so perfectly. So lovely.
I like the slow mo.
I did too.
I didn't know you were going to include that. That was terrible.
It was awesome.
cute, and I love the jump
I'm
at
sorry.
the end.
I can take it out.
No.
It's too late. It's live.
Oh, I can erase it. That never happened. What are you talking about?
No. It's not that bad. No, it's just, if people who, if anyone, they won't, but if anyone saw it and knew
Who was a
me and,
professional cheerleader?
and knew my cheerleading history and saw that, they would be like, but I guess there we are. Fear of judgment.
Also, how long has it been since you've done that?
2006.
I thought it was pretty good.
It hurt.
All right, so I brought the
Not that bad.
I brought the 11 Karmic Spaces book that we've been like randomly pulling segments out of, and I just opened it up. I flipped a little bit because, funny enough, it took me right back to the one that we talked about last time, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I need to like meditate on that for a little while. But when I flipped, I came to, and this feels good around the like new year. How are we looking at our resolutions and what we're going to do? So this is the segment. You are more valuable than both heaven and earth. What else can I say? You don't know your worth. Do not sell yourself at a ridiculous price. You are you who are so valuable in God's eyes. And I think like that's what we need to touchstone back to. Like we are really valuable, and we don't give ourselves, like we don't hold ourselves in that regard all the time.
That's beautiful. I love that.
It's a poem by Rumi.
Oh, that guy is
That
cool.
Yeah,
Who's
that's why
that guy?
that guy's
Okay,
great.
awesome.
That dude's sick. I'm just kidding. What book is that again?
The 11 Karmic Spaces, choosing freedom from the patterns that bind you.
Thank you. That's lovely. Should I do one?
Sure.
Okay, this is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. It's full of quotes. I'm gonna flip to a random thing. Okay. The course. I thought we were gonna go walk. Sorry.
Oh, waffles.
I love you. We were gonna waffles. Oh, he's still doing it. What? Okay. The course tells us this is like her reflection on A Course in Miracles. So she says the course tells us it's important to set a goal at the beginning of a situation. Bruh. Can't make this shit up. It's important to set a goal at the beginning of a situation, or it will seem to unfold chaotically. If our goal is peace, we're programmed for emotional stability no matter what happens. The mind will have been directed to see the situation from a peaceful perspective. If we didn't get the job we wanted, it won't matter so much. We will truly understand that there's something better coming up soon, or that this wasn't really the perfect job for us anyway. We will have faith in God. The miracle is that we will really feel our faith. It won't just be positive goo thrown over our pain. Our emotions flow from our thoughts and not the other way around.
Ooh,
Interesting,
That,
huh?
I can't believe that. I wonder if I can do that with this book.
Of course you
Before
can.
we go
Yeah.
on,
Oh,
so what was I thinking when I heard that? Oh, okay. Have you heard of the whole concept of course you've heard of it. We talk about it all the time, but the whole like stop looking for, I'm gonna say peace because she was talking about peace. Stop looking for peace in the job, in the relationship, in the thing, in the place you want, and where you want to be. If you want peace, be peace. Like if you want calm, be calm. If you want love, be love. And that is something that I've been thinking about for years. And it goes back to the whole, what if you don't love it today? Lean into the last time you felt the love.
yeah. So go inward to grab it.
Right.
You have to get it from inside, not out,
Take a breath. Find
It'll
that
be
feeling
there,
in your heart,
and then it'll
and
come
then you
out. to the
radiate
outside.
it. Right.
That's like the law of manifestation. These guys, these religions, and these people, they all are speaking some wisdom. It's crazy.
All right. We were supposed to, I don't know if we still are, but the book All for Love by Matt Con.
Oh, cool.
We
I
were
really
supposed
like
to
his
do
stuff.
the Yogi Book Club at Lunar sometime this month, but we haven't picked a date, so maybe it'll just be February, but which would be good. All for love in February. Get it? Wink, wink.
That's a very
Mhm.
February looking book.
So it's the transformative power of holding space. So I'm just also gonna try to randomly do it.
I'm gonna hold it.
Ooh,
The space.
I'm ripping it. You hold it. All right. What could possibly go wrong? From the dynamic listening of encouragement to the compassion offered through validation, we now turn a more assertive corner to reverence. Of course, not everyone will resonate with the affirming support you give them for how incredibly strong they must be to have lived through their ordeal. This is especially true when their conditioning suggests they shut down in emotional protest until the experience they oppose ends, because the attribute of reverence invites you to make the most of any situation. It's common for those in pain to project their resentment at having to face onslaughts of discomfort, difficulty, and inconvenience.
Yeah. So that's a lot about talking with other people who are in a dark place, right? Or at a different vibration.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
We talk about that often.
Which is
Yes.
probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and I still don't know how.
I don't either.
It's like-
I haven't figured that out
Didn't
yet.
we just talk about this with your recent visits? Yeah, dang, man. This is one of those really tough puzzles, riddles, silly, silly little tricks from the universe for us to get out of. Constantly battling that exact thing.
And I think it goes back to the whole non-attachment thing, right? Letting go of the attachment that the interaction is going to be anything, and just being there.
And he says reverence a lot. I really like that. It's like reverence for that thing we're talking about when you go back in to find it. That's what you have reverence for, the power of your ability to be able to connect to that. Like a turtle in the shell. Hold on. Ring, super turtle. Let me get some of that magic juice. That's really interesting. That's cool. I just recently found that guy as well in this last year on I think YouTube of all places. He's I find it interesting the certain people that come out and get popular all of a sudden, how vastly different they all are from one another. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. He's flying high. I feel like every video I see, he's just like he's so connected. It's all
I haven't seen him. I'm gonna have to go seek him out now.
Yeah, just Matt Kahn on YouTube is his short. He has a lot of shorts.
Okay.
And they're like nuggets of wisdom. Every time I see him on my feed, I'm gonna cut mine down again. I do it like every 6 months, but I'm gonna, because somehow it grows, you know.
Yeah, no, it's happened to mine too.
Multiplies.
I'm getting way too much political content, and it's
shit you
creating
don't follow.
anxiety in me.
Yeah, that's what it's designed for. But it's also on the good side. On the inverse of that, it's a tool.
Search
But yeah,
search
Matt Kahn, check him out. So you guys don't know what his vibe or anything about him?
Just read.
I've just been listening to.
Oh, this will be interesting. I would love to see what you guys think. Maybe we can talk about it next podcast. See what you take from it without me inserting my opinion.
I think we should send him an email and try to get him on.
He's pretty big.
Oh, and that was
He's kind of a viral guy now.
My resolution for Yoga and Other Shit is to
get more guests.
Book a bunch of guests.
Oh, okay.
So
that'll be great because I've got some travel this year. So
well, but also I wanted to see if you could, since you've been going up and doing the Kundalini, maybe a Kasha would come on, and you could do do the interviewing, lead it kind of thing.
That would be
and
fun.
Then I can just be there and go,
Yeah,
because I haven't done it or anything, and it would be cool to share it with people who also haven't done it. Our 5 listeners might want to hear about it.
Demystifying Kundalini yoga.
And then who else were we talking about?
Gabby Chai, my mushroom.
Oh yes, the mushroom lady. And then there was somebody else
There was someone else we talked about, and I'm forgetting too. Us two forgetting something. It's kind of funny.
Oh, the lady that does all the like retrograde year thing, Sabrina.
Oh, Sabrina, yeah. She's again. I think we can try. She's huge,
They said I know.
but we can
Just-
okay, changing attitude.
I
If it's meant to be and we try, then we should.
I messaged
Be open.
Shop with Caroline. I heard nothing back, but I
But you
still
put yourself out there.
still shot her a
It's always
message.
worth it. Actually, now that you say that, there was a couple years ago, there's a few spiritual people that I messaged directly because it was so dark and I wasn't desperate like going straight to social, but whenever I was calm and like depressed or just numb, I was like, and I would message one of them and be like, I really respect, it was all positive, and they would come right back and like converse with me and or just maybe a message or two back of
Yeah.
like, thank you for your support, like keep shining, like I know it's dark, it's like people kind of got it, and it was
Yeah.
so cool to have that ability. And you know what's funny, I was telling Rachel that in like 1998 when Britney Spears' first CD came out, I got it and it was a big deal, and on the inside CD jacket she had an email had just come out like the year before, and we all got little kid AOL accounts.
Yeah.
Flipper Girl was mine. So, gymnastics. So I had. So anyway, it said her email was on there. So I was like, I can talk to her. So I went on the computer and she never emailed me back. So then I was like, this is all fake.
Right.
I didn't trust it. And then now I'm here as like a 35-year-old, and they're like sending me message back, and it's finally happened. And it made me feel really good. So that's one of those things that makes it a good tool, you know.
No, I think socials and internet, it has its positive.
Yeah,
You just have to
everything
use it that way.
Exactly, just like anything, right?
Well, I
Okay,
think we're
good
over an
place.
hour. We
Yes,
ready to
we're
wrap
good.
it?
I love your watch.
Thank you.
That is cool. I had jellies. You remember jelly sandals?
It reminds me of a Swatch.
Yeah,
So
that looks so
yeah.
like 90s.
It's my Apple Watch, but my friend Rachel here gave me the watch cover.
Oh,
she
that's
made it
so
extra
cool.
My friend Stella gave it to me, and
And your
it
watch is
didn't
bigger.
fit. So
It's
she was
perfect.
like,
Yeah, I love
Sisterhood
it.
of the Traveling Watch Band.
Yeah.
yes.
Cool.
Well, and I get a ton of compliments from like Gen Alpha folks, and so it makes me feel super.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. It's
You're,
so cool.
You're hip.
I'm hip. I skipped a generation though, because my kids would not call me hip, but the younger ones. are
Yeah,
like,
we
"Look
all
at your
have.
watch,
It's
cool."
separated by 2 segments. We're best friends. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
Oh, that's on
Bye.
there. You
Bye.
wanna do it? I don't know which one it is, but
Bye. Oh no.
try that. Hey, we're back, but we're not back.